stacked at the quarterback position. Bart's still with us. Bart, does Russ on the Broncos make them the team to beat in the AFC?
Absolutely. And I think they're the front runner for me for the division. And I know Steven's going to go all about that, Mahomes, and how he's a bad man. But remember who was the bad man before that? It was Russell Wilson when he was allowed to cook. He is one bad decision on the goal line from being a two-time Super Bowl champion. And listen, nobody gets more disrespected than Russell Wilson, maybe because he plays in Seattle and a lot of people don't watch their games. I played against them all. I played against Tom Brady. I played against Peyton Manning. I played against Steve McNair. I played against Ben Roethlisberger. I played against Patrick. I played against Rodgers. He is probably the most top 5 hardest quarterback I've ever had to play against because of his ability to be a dual threat, because of his football acumen. And now you give him a team where he actually has weapons. You can't hold that against him that he had Brian Schottenheimer as a offensive coordinator. This is a guy that has been elite, has only had one losing season. And that losing season came when he missed 4 or 5 games because of a finger injury. Now you give him weapons. And what makes him better and why he's a better decision for Denver than Aaron Rodgers is the fact that he comes with a $19 million price tag, which allows you to load up. Yeah, I know they lost a good player in Noah Fant, but they can replace him with O.J. the Juice Man. If they're looking for a tight end that can't block but can be a great receiver, Evan Ingram's out there. So they have an opportunity to load up within this division because it's salary cap space. They have a more complete team. You talk about Kansas City within that division. They're vitamin D deficient. They have no defense. This is the most complete team, now backed by one of the best quarterbacks in the AFC behind the center.
Well, shockingly, I'm not going to totally disagree with you on that. I definitely think that the Denver Broncos are a legitimate threat with Russell Wilson because I think Russell Wilson is one of the best quarterbacks in football. He's not a scrub. I think he's a future Hall of Fame. I got a lot of love for Russell Wilson. I just think going to a new team, a new system, says something. Nathaniel Hackett, we don't know how good of a coach he's going to be. I think we've got to take that into consideration. And I take umbrage with what you say when you talk about he wasn't allowed to cook. I don't buy that. When you've been around long enough, you've got enough cachet. You know this, Bart, particularly when you're the quarterback, you're at the quarterback position and you're a star. Case in point is what I talked about yesterday when I was talking to Mad Dog and I was talking to Dan Orlovsky. And I brought up Matt Ryan. You're up 28-3. Sure, Kyle Shanahan and Dan Quinn made the mistake by continuously throwing the football because obviously an incomplete pass stops the clock, gave the New England Patriots more time to come back from that 25-point deficit, which they ultimately ended up doing, and it cost you a Super Bowl championship. The clock was on your side. You didn't maneuver your way around it effectively enough, and it cost you. Somewhere along the way, you're Matt Ryan in like your 8th or 9th year in the league at that particular moment in time, recognized one of the elite quarterbacks in football. You couldn't go to a Shanahan. You couldn't go to a Quinn and say, hell no, this is what we're doing. This is what we need to do because the clock is on our side. You couldn't make those decisions. You couldn't step up and be a bit more forceful and saying, this is an idiotic decision. We got to change course on this. Certainly you could have done that. And when I look at Russell Wilson and some of the things that have been transpiring in Seattle, look, you got DK Metcalf. You got Tyler Lockett. You had Carson running out of the backfield, okay? The offensive line was suspect, and I get all of that. Pete Carroll may have been a bit archaic to some degree and a bit transparent and predictable with what he was doing offensively, but it still didn't stop you or didn't prevent you from speaking up. You just chose to do so in the offseason instead of being more assertive during the regular season when the games were actually being played to make a difference. So I hold Russell Wilson to some degree accountable for that. You definitely could do that. Now you go into a new system, and I get all of that. You got the weapons. You got Cortland Sutton. You got Jerry Jeudy, all right? You got this kid Williams. You got Melvin Gordon. You got a lot of things coming out of the backfield. But in the end, I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes with his crew, and I don't expect their defense to be as bad as it was at the beginning of the season this year. And I think the Chargers are coming with Justin Herbert as well. I'm just not so sure as you are that Denver's going to be that team. They're coming. But I'm not sure yet whether they have arrived.
Well, Steve, that credit card bill is due for Kansas City. Tyrann Mathieu may not be on that team. And if they're defense without Tyrann Mathieu, then really what are they? Because they don't have a lot of talent on that side. They have to address the contract or Orlando Brown. So that's going to take more money off as well. So now you talk about timing. You know, you talk about Russell Wilson and his ability. He's not coming here saying, hey, give me an extension. This is an opportunity for them to load up, much like the Rams did. And you're going to get guys that want to come over. You talk about Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown's a free agent.
Okay.
He protected Russell Wilson for the majority of his career. And we can't criticize Russell Wilson for not vetoing, what the call was in the Super Bowl because he was early in his career. Remember, this was
We can't ignore it either.
But this was early in his career.
We can't
Steven.
ignore it either.
So
And it wasn't that damn early. It wasn't that early.
What quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to make that decision in year 3 or year 4 of his career?
Was he not a Super Bowl champion? Was he not a Super Bowl champion already when he made that ridiculous, idiotic pass? No, it wasn't his fault. He didn't call the play. But damn it, he threw the ball.
But he still was a young quarterback on his rookie deal. You're not going to make that call over a coach that's a Super Bowl champion coach.
Out of time.
Can't believe
Broncos
this.
now
Damn
the
it, Steven, I'm going to call you on the phone, and I'm going to finish this.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.